What up, what up? Madaz here again. This is going to be another video, of course, as promised. This is going to be the video about the CREG Halt-Resume washout long today. And this is not going to be as flashy as the DCIX video. Of course, I know human nature. We're attracted to big, large numbers, and obviously this video is not going to attract as much attention as the DCIX video. But that's not the point, you know. DCIX, that was a monster outlier play, $20,000 in 1 minute. That was pretty freaking sick. If you guys haven't seen it, of course, check it out. There's going to be a little bubble here in the top right corner of this video. But this video is going to be more about, you know, understanding the tape. And this is something that a lot of you guys who have been following me for the longest time, you guys want more videos about tape reading, understanding how to gauge when there's dilution, when there's bid propping and stuff like that. This video is going to really help you guys. It's really going to make a lot of you guys that have been looking forward to that kind of footage. You know, you guys are going to be very, very pleased to see this video. So anyone who's actually, you know, watching my videos to learn about trading, they will see the value in this particular video as opposed to just looking at big P&L, big large profits. So this is definitely gonna make you guys, you know, a lot more comfortable, I guess, playing these Halt-Resume washout longs or just washout longs in general. If you understand the one-off scenarios, the washout longs are very high percentage. They're a very high percentage trade. They work very well most of the time, but like most strategies, there's going to be a handful of times where they don't work, and today is a good example of where it was very good to, you know, take your profits and sell. I guess you can say sell a bit too early, just to be safe. That way you don't get caught in the dilution dump. And again, the term dilution that I use, and I get a lot of shit for this. Dilution, obviously, I know what it really means. It means that when you're adding new shares to the existing share structure, right? The share structure has been increased. So that's dilution. That's what dilution really means. So if you guys keep asking what dilution is, that's the actual by the book definition of dilution. But when I use the word dilution, I mean that there's a refreshing seller on the offer, and the reason why I'd rather use the word dilution because it's a lot easier to type dilution than refreshing seller on the offer. So just so there's some clarification there. Yes, I'm technically using the term incorrectly, so don't get on my case for that. I know what it actually is, but every single time I use the word dilution, every time Madaz says dilution, I literally mean that there's a seller, hidden seller, or a refreshing seller that just is just acting like a brick wall on the offer repeatedly and is killing the move. So that's what we got today on CREG. As you can see, if we take a quick look at the chart, you can see exactly that. CREG ramped up. This thing went from what, you know, 5s all the way up to 9s. Didn't really have a problem doing that. And all of a sudden, after this little gap down on the Halt-Resume, it had trouble going up $1. You know, I mean, that's not normal. Something's not right there. If a stock can go from 5 to 9 that easily without any dips in between, as you can see, all green candles, you would expect that a huge $2 drop, you know, if shorts are truly caught and they're overpowering any external forces, in this case being the refreshing sellers or the diluters, if you will, you know, you would expect this stock to bounce at least, you know, back toward high of day and test it. You know, if it's actually a very powerful move, which it should have been, it should have ramped to new highs. Obviously, if there was no dilution, whatever, this thing easily would have ramped up to 10, 12, 15, who knows what. It would have pulled the DCIX basically. But it didn't do that. It struggled to even move $1. And that was a telltale sign for me to be like, you know, I'm just going to take my quick win. As you can see, I only end up making $1,000 on the trade. Later in the video, you'll see it. So this isn't one of my flashier trades, but it's a very educational. It's very educational for those of you that want to learn about the mechanics of the washout long and understanding when it works and when it doesn't work. So I think this will be very helpful for you guys. But the first telltale sign, as you can see, the stock going from, you know, 5 to 9, dumps all the way down to basically that pre-market high area that I was tweeting about right there. You can see that little nice wick, and it couldn't even get back over 9. So, you know, it was just a struggle, and it just didn't look right. So after I sold my position, I actually had a bad entry and a bad exit, of course. But I was looking for a re-entry for a move to new highs, and I just never saw it. So this video will show you guys exactly what I was thinking. So I recorded just this part. It's a very short video. I didn't record the actual dump, but after the fact, you can kind of see that the diluters, as I tweeted on Twitter, the diluters eventually overpowered any shorts that needed to cover. Whatever force that was pushing this stock from 6 to 9 was being overpowered by whatever force was holding it down. And I'm assuming it was basically, the dilution or the people that were just dumping shares in the open market, that they were just completely overpowering any shorts that were trapped and ended up killing the move. So that was the correct call to no longer try to, go in with size, aggressively buy the washouts. I did buy these washouts, but I did it with like 500 shares, guys. Make a couple $100 here and there, but I was no longer looking for the big win. That was a correct call, and this video will illustrate just that. So let's go ahead and jump right into the footage. Very short video this time, so you guys won't have to sit around and watch this video at like 1 a.m. for some of you guys when this finally gets posted. But here we go. All right, so we pick up right here, right moments before the stock resumes. So we look at CREG, the chart on the bottom, and stock has just made that sick move I was referring to from 5 to 9. Very, very sick move. And we're going to get the resume right now. You see the gap down right there perfectly to where I was expecting it to. Try to get in. I only filled 100 shares. I actually just blinked when this happened. I don't know what I was thinking. I just literally just blinked and just missed that entry there, like 780. So I got filled 100 shares. Try to sell it. Try to flip it for a quick $70. Didn't get filled. So I was like, whatever. It's 100 shares. It dips back down. Try to get a re-entry here. 7.8. No fill. A little bit too conservative. End up just jumping in here at 8. Finally got my shares. So I have 2,600 shares. It's nothing too aggressive, okay? So I'm watching the tape right now. It's dancing around 8, okay? It's not really sketching me out yet, but something is still not completely right, because this thing usually, if it dumps that hard, the shorts would usually panic cover and it would bounce right back to 9s, like that. Okay, but it didn't do that. So that kind of had me like on my back foot, thinking maybe, okay, this might not be your typical Halt-Resume washout long like it was on DCX in the previous video. So I'm just sticking to my small size here, 2,600 shares, nothing too crazy. And I'm just watching the tape, and as you can see, it's still hanging around 8. It's not really, given that high-powered move back toward 9, back toward high of day. And if you look at the offer, you can see that there are sellers. There are sellers at 8 holding it down at the moment. It's not looking right. Now 8s are taken out, but it's not really that aggressive. You don't see the bids aggressively bid up this stock, essentially. You don't see the bids support the stock like they should. If you see the stock and you see a stock that's squeezed from 5 to 9, you would expect the shorts to be like freaking out and covering any chance they get. But then you don't really see that. Okay, so while sometimes you see the offer gets taken out, you don't see the bids, propping it up and supporting it. You don't see anyone joining up and holding up the stock. So right now I'm pretty much not adding. That's why you don't see me really adding to my position. Right now I'm just looking at it. Maybe I get a quick pop. If it pops back toward high of day, I stay in, or maybe hold a little bit longer. But if not, might just take the quick profits. It's not really looking that great. It's not looking like your typical washout long, Halt-Resume washout long. So right now we're still lingering in the low 8s, which is very strange. Okay, again, you don't see any aggressive bids. I'm just looking for any pop right now. Maybe that'll be my sell, especially if I see the sellers on the offer really overwhelm any pop really quickly. That will probably be my telltale time to sell. Now you see the bids are creeping up a little bit here. You got some bids now. There's an 820, but you see they get taken out. It's still back down, drops back down to 8. There's no conviction. I think that's the best way to describe it. There's no conviction. You don't see the same price action you saw this stock make from 5 when it went from 5 to 9. When this thing was going from 5 to 9, the bids were just chasing it up. You don't see that here. So that's a sign for me to look to maybe take an exit soon. It's been 4 minutes. Stock's bounced pretty much not really much at all. You can see me, I take the sell there. I sell it at 840 something, take my grand. So, you know, Big Mac money. I know a grand is still a lot of money to some people. I don't want to like push it aside like it's nothing, but definitely not the typical halt washout long, halt resume washout long gains that I usually would see. Now we see a little bit of a push here, but you'll see in a second, although I do sell too early, I did preemptively take it off too early. You'll see that this thing tried to go over 9s and it gets overwhelmed. Watch. So right here, 890s. Now it tries to break over 9. Remember, we're still not even a high day test yet. So you get the 9 bids, and all of a sudden, look at that. Look at that. Just it's taken out, back down to 870 in a heartbeat, despite the fact that the 9s just tried to prop it up for a little bit there, and it just couldn't do it. Okay, so it's kind of doing the same thing what it was doing moments ago in the 8s. You know, so it's just not looking right. You know, I'm looking for a re-entry. I want to get back in. I'm like, you know what? I sold my position too early. Maybe I can catch a second win and then catch the next train to new high days to 10 or something like that. But I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, you see these bids, they're dropping off again. There's no conviction on this push to 9. And mind you, this is only pretty much only a $1 move, basically from 8 to 9. And, you know, again, I sound like a broken record, but this stock went from 5 to 9. You know, without any end in sight, and all of a sudden it can't go from 8 to 9. I mean, something's not right there. So now we're dropping back down to below 850. This is not looking good. Back to 820. That's not typically how a stock that is squeezing, you know, with short covers, really just panicking with no external forces. Look at that, back down to the low 8s. You know, there's no conviction. There's definitely something. Yeah, below 8. That's not looking right. So if you guys understand and compare this to the DCIX video, I would recommend you guys watch it back to back. Watch the DCIX video when it went from, what was it, like 18 to 26 or whatever, right? You can see the bids chase it up. You know, it was skipping dollars, basically. This stock didn't skip dollars. The float's still low on CREG. It could have easily went to 10, new highs, or at the very least double topped at the high of day, right? But it didn't do that. You can see the struggles. It's like I always give that analogy, right? It's like you're biking uphill with like a really heavy backpack or like ankle weights on it or something like that. It feels very sluggish. And eventually, you're going to run out of energy and you're going to stop moving, you know? So it's kind of like that here. The dilution just gets too overwhelming. And there's just not enough buying pressure, be it from the short covers or otherwise, to prop this stock up. Simple as that. So, as you can see, I don't even make an attempt. You don't even see me place another order. You didn't even see me try to buy the sub 8 washout, if you want to call it that. I didn't even try to get in with like 500 shares. I just didn't feel it. I took my grand and just left it alone. Gave it some time to see if it made another move back toward higher days, and it didn't do that. So, like I said, I want to make this a quick video. Hopefully this illustrates the point. Definitely you can see from the chart, stock eventually got overpowered by diluters and it faded. Absolutely the right call. So, watch this video a couple times if you guys have to. You guys get a grasp of this concept. It's basically understanding the heavy tape and, you know, getting out with your profits while you still have them. And just protecting yourself, you know. Sometimes it's not always going to be that epic squeezer like DCIX was, and that's okay. So it's up to us as traders to identify when we get our epic big money play and when do we have to just take the small money or end up with a big red trade. So hopefully this helps, guys. Have a good weekend. See you guys next time.